Hey everyone, I'm Vincent and you are here for another paranormal story. So, I think for these stories, I'm going to make a different field instead of me sitting on my bed and leaning on my pillows. I think because my room is very bohemian, very spiritual, very modern day kind of decor, that I'm going to start making it more of Are You Afraid of the Dark kind of scenery, where it's like candles, and I'm gonna get a stand for this camera when I can. I think this week, because I get paid this week, so I'm going to. And yeah, I'm gonna get this channel going because it's time to tell the truth, and it's time to tell stories. The truth about the paranormal and spiritual, and how a lot of people get into the paranormal and don't understand it. A lot of people get into the craft and fuck themselves over and other people over. So, as a person that's very experienced in this kind of stuff, I think it's time for me to speak my opinions, since everybody else wants to speak their opinions, and I think that's perfect, but I think I'm going to speak my opinions. I am one out of 1 billion, 6 billion, or 7 billion people in this world that has a voice. So, my paranormal story. When I was 12 years old, I told you in my other video, in my previous video, I would speak about this. I wasn't very Catholic. I was raised and born Catholic, and I always had a very close faith to God. I always spoke about God. I have death many, multiple times. I am surprised I'm still alive, and there's a specific reason I'm probably still alive. It's because I'm a human being, and I deserve to live on God's green earth, as everybody else does. However, when I was 12 years old, I remember I had a fight with my father and my sister, and my mom being in the middle of the fight, it made me upset. So I went to bed, and I had a dream where I was in the middle of the fight again. They were in the kitchen, my sister, my dad, and my mom, and all of a sudden everything stopped. Froze. I'm just gonna hold it like this because my hand's hurting. So, I didn't know what was happening, and I heard a voice downstairs coming from the basement, and I decided to follow it because I heard like a piano playing, and I went downstairs. Well, no, not really. No, not really, because before I went downstairs, I thought I had a feeling to go into my bedroom. And that feeling, I believe, came from my granny, which died years before I was born. And I went into my bedroom, and at that time, I had nothing spiritual, nothing religious in my room. So, I opened up the door, and it was dark. But I still could see. It was like the kitchen light was still shining through. It was a very vivid dream. And I looked around, and there was crosses, statues of gods and goddesses, and Mary and Jesus, pictures of my family, so many things. And I was like, what? It didn't make sense. So I had a feeling, pick up a cross, pick up a Bible, and go downstairs. So I went downstairs, and as I was going downstairs, I look up, and there is a woman sitting there with a piano near our laundry. Shit, I forget what it's called. Near our laundry part of the house. So I was like, what the? I was like, who the fuck are you? I said, and I was a very outspoken kid. Like, I spoke what was on my mind to everybody and to everything, and I didn't really care. So I was like, who are you, and what are you doing in my house? The woman wasn't looking at me. She was dressed in white, a white gown, a white dress, and her hair was wavy. It parted here, like parted in the middle, and then it went down wavy. And she was of brown skin, not black, but like more Spanish, Maltese, Mediterranean kind of skin. And I kept asking her, "What the hell are you doing in my house?" And she looked at me. It's like, bitch, this bitch is looking at me. This is fucked. And I felt a somewhat positive vibe to her. So she put her hand out and she said, "Vincent, I want to show you something." And I grabbed her hand. Okay? Instantly, I had a flash of a hanging. In my heart, that hanging was not of her. She was showing me something in the future, which scared the shit out of me, because in my gut stomach, I didn't feel like it was of the past. The instant reaction I got in my dream was of the future. And I was like, okay, whatever, that's scary. So I remember I woke up. Years and years of me pondering on who this person is. And the other day I was praying the rosary, and all of a sudden, I don't know if it was my granny, I don't know who it was. It felt like a very positive being around me. It said, the woman that was there was the Virgin Mary. And ever since I've had that dream, I've had dreams about Mary constantly. I've had dreams about her in the sky in the backyard. I've had dreams about her protecting my family. Literally protecting my family. Which I'm going to tell you in another paranormal story kind of video. Like, jeez, why do I say kind of? In a paranormal story video. And I was scared out of my mind when I had this feeling. Now, like I said, ever since I was young, I've had paranormal, like, I don't understand why they come to me. I don't understand why they just come to people specifically. Or are they everywhere, and they're everywhere? But yeah, I've had a lot of experiences and a lot of attacks. But yeah, that was the one that blatantly made me start having more of a belief in my faith. And I think it was my granny telling my family, including my mother, that it was going to be okay. And it was going to be okay how things are going to go in life, because that is how it's supposed to go. And when my mom lost her mom, she was a very devout Catholic, my granny, and my mother did not understand why. Neither did my uncles, neither did anybody. And they fought that many times. And it was like, when I started going back to the Catholic faith, it was like a little hope that my granny was trying to send, saying everything was going to be okay. And I've had visions of my granny. I have seen her vividly. Three times, I believe. One at church, one when I was a little boy. That was my first vision I ever had of a spirit, was her. And then I believe one again at church, and it was at Christmas Mass. And she has always been around my family. I've always had a strong devotion to my granny, because when I was in my mom's stomach, I had complications and I was C-section. I was about to die. And my mom said to my granny, she kept praying to my granny, and she kept asking her, save the baby, and I don't care about myself. Which, I love my mama. I love my mom with all my heart, because a woman to have sacrificed everything is a trooper. That is a true mother, a true aunt, a true woman. And luckily we both survived, but as I was growing up, that feeling became very strong that it was my granny who was protecting me. So that dream of the Virgin Mary was one out of 100 dreams which I will be saying, which I will be telling you guys about, and many more paranormal stories. And after that, I started going to the Catholic faith more. I started going to church more. I started becoming devout. I even wanted to be a priest. I wanted to be a religious... Okay, that scared the shit out of me. Why, when I'm starting to make these damn videos, does things happen? My curtain for my closet just fell off. It scared the shit out of me. Granny, I don't know who that is, but yeah, that's pretty scary. This is, wow. If I could get this shit on camera, you would understand my life. You would understand other people's lives. Literally scary, because in my previous video about the Ouija board, that scared the shit out of me. You guys should watch that, because my reaction to what happened, oh my god, it was scary. But anyways, I started going back to the Catholic faith. I started believing in God, and my faith with my granny is always going to be strong. And I believe when I have kids, my grandfather, who was the actual best man in the world, he was the funniest, is going to be so close to my children as much as every other children in my family that comes out of my cousins, because that's how it goes. And the weird thing is in this family, when someone dies, one person always has a child coming on its way after that person passes away. So it's like either a part of them comes and a part stays, and that's the most beautifulest part of this. That my family and family always has each other back. So yeah, that was one of a million paranormal experiences I've had. And usually they're dreams, but usually they're not. And I want to start making more of the dreams, the non-dreams I've had. Those are a little bit more scarier, but I'm risking it. Because every time I talk about a freaking video, just something happened. I mean, I talk about a video, every time I talk on a video about certain paranormal things, just something happened and it scares the shit out of me. That's why I have this on. This guy. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to my channel and watch more of my videos. I also have a blog on Tumblr, which I am going to post in the description if I can. If I can't, then I'm going to do something. Because I would love to start doing this all over again, making YouTube videos and Tumblr posts. And just giving you guys some little tidbits and opinions of what the spirituality of spiritual life is, and etc. So I'm tired. I'm gonna have a smoke before I go to bed. I do smoke. That's my vice, but I don't care. And I'm gonna let you guys go. Okay, God bless.